This is Dr. Rahman, Assistant Professor, University of Peshawar. Uh, in this lecture, we are going to discuss proposition and its kinds, its topic of logic and critical thinking. And for reading this material, you can consult Chapter 5 of Copy and Kohan book, Introduction to Logic, 14 edition. What we will study in this lecture, that what is proposition, kind of proposition, and we will discuss proposition with respect to quality, quantity, and its distribution. So let's start with the definition of proposition. If we look into the general meaning of the proposition, it can be called as a unit of language. Normally what we are using in our daily language, we are using some sentences, we are using some statements. So these statements can be called as proposition. But if we look into the perspective of thinker and philosopher, this is considered as proposition is considered as the core of the philosophy, and it tells about the truth or falsehood of a statement about something. So we can say that it reveals facts. But if we look into the proposition in terms of logic, we can say that it is the fundamental unit of the logic, because if we look into the structure of logic, what we do in logic, we are normally we are using argumentation. We argue with someone, and we argue with about something. For that argument, we need to use reasoning, and for reasoning purpose, knowledge is used. So we can say that for logic, it is the fundamental and essential component that can be used for reasoning or the knowledge. Okay, if we look into the formal definition of logic, a proposition. So a proposition is a statement which either affirms or denies a statement. What does this mean? It means that if I say the sun is shining, now this is a fact, or this we can say this is a statement, and this statement can either affirms this statement can affirm, or it can be denied. If you look into the weather outside, if the sun is shining, it is affirmed. If it is cloudy, or if it is raining, then it is denied. So this is an example of a statement. If you look into this mathematical statement, 3 plus 4 is equal to 7, so it affirms. It is a statement which is affirmed. So it is a proposition here about x plus y is greater than 10. We cannot say anything about its truth or falseness, because we don't know the exact value of the x and y. If we put the value in such a way that its sum is greater than 10, then it is affirmed. But if it is its total value is less than or equal to 10, then it is denied. In the same way, is it raining? Come to the class. These are also the proposition. So proposition is nothing but it is a statement which can be either true or it can be false. If we look into the internal structure of the proposition, it can be divided into two categories. One is categorical proposition, and the other one is hypothetical proposition. Categorical proposition are of 4 types. In this, these 4 types are categorized based on their characteristic of universal and particular features. What does this mean? That from universal, we have universal affirmative and universal negative, and from particular, it is particular affirmative and particular negative. So we will discuss all these in detail with the example in our coming slides. And from hypothetical perspective, if you look into the types of proposition, these are conditional, disjunctive, and conjunctive, and in coming slides we will describe them in detail. Now we are going inside to the categorical proposition and looking at from the example perspective. So categorical proposition, if we go and define it, these are those kind of proposition which directly affirms or denies something of an object or of a class. It consists of subject term and a predicate term. So categorical proposition, from its constituent or structure perspective, it will be composed of two main components, and those two components will be subject and predicate, and it will directly affirms or it will deny a statement. What does this mean? This means that in last lecture, in last slide, we discussed that it has four types: universal, two from universal perspective and two from particular perspective. From universal perspective, universal affirmative, that it will always be true. All tables are article or furniture. Now furniture is a family, and that can be a predicate, and table is a subject. So if you take any kind of table, that will be that will lie in the furniture class. And if we say into universal negative, it will always be false. For all elements, it will be false. No men are unhuman. Unhuman is the predicate, and men is the subject. So it means that universally negative, it will always be negative. It will be denied. No men are unhuman. And in some case of particular affirmative, that some metal are useful. Particular means some metal are useful, and particular negative mean some men are not liar. So this is the particular negative example. If you look into another example and its representation, these categorical proposition can be represented by using the alphabet A, E, I, O. What is A? A mean that all S R P mean all subject are predicate. No subject are predicate. So all and no. This give us universal affirmative and universal negative. And some S are P, some S are not P. So this sum is particular, and from particular RP it affirms, not P it denies. So it's particular negative. And these are the few other examples. All cats are mammal, no cat are reptiles. So this is the example of this kind of proposition. E kind of proposition. Some cats are long-haired and some cats are not long-haired. So from these examples we can clearly understand that what is categorical proposition, and in categorical proposition what are its types. In definition of categorical proposition, we said that it will consist of subject and predicate. So if we look into all these A, E, I, O, U, all consist of subject and consist of proposition, predicate. This example tell us that what are the different elements of categorical proposition. In that, if you take a categorical proposition, what will be the different elements inside a categorical proposition, or we can say that what elements are combined together to form a categorical proposition. So normally a categorical proposition consists of three parts: subject and predicate, that we saw in our previous slides and example, and another component is copula, mean the verb which connect these subject with the predicate, that combine them together to have some meaning. And the fourth term the fourth term or the fourth element of a categorical proposition, that is called quantifier. It's not always there in all kind of categorical proposition, but in some case they are there. So all ravens are blackbirds. So all shows us the quantity. That's why it is called quantifier. Raven is here used as a subject, and are combined this subject with this predicate, so it's called copula, and this is the predicate. Here in this slide, these elements are explained. Quantifier, they tell us about the quantity. Subject and predicate, these are the main components of the proposition, and copula, these are the bonding verb that maintain the structure of the proposition. Here is another example. She is beautiful. Now she is the copula, she is the copula, she is the subject, and beautiful is the predicate. So this is combine this she with this beautiful and making it a categorical proposition. Now when we talk about categorical proposition, we are also looking at into from another perspective, which is called quantity. By quantity, that we mean that quantifier can be universal, or that quantifier can be particular. So from quantity perspective, if we analyze the categorical proposition, it can be either particular or it can be either universal. So particular means that only part of the subject will be either affirmed or it will be denied. Mean the whole subject will not be affirmed, but only a part. In case of universal, the whole part will be affirmed or denied. What does this mean? Look into this example. Some politicians are corrupt official. Some politician. Now this politician is the subject, and some part out of this politician class, means some politician, they are corrupt official. Corrupt official is the predicate. So here only a part is affirmed or denied. Now if this statement, we will take an example of a country and we'll look into those politicians, and if some politician are corrupt, then this will be affirmed. But if no politician out of all the politicians in that country, they are corrupt, then this will be denied. Okay. And in universal case, all mothers are loving parents. Now mother are the subject and loving parents are the predicate. But here the quantifier which is used is all. So it is called, from quantity perspective, it will be, proposition will be either universal or it will be particular. Particular can be represented by some, and universal can be represented by all or none. Now if we look into the quality perspective of a categorical proposition, from quality perspective, it can be either positive or it can be negative. It means that if it is true, it will be considered as positive, and if it is false, its truth value is false, then it will be negative. So positive is called affirmative, and negative is called denied. So if we say that the predicate is affirmed by the subject, if both agree with each other, if subject and predicate agree with each other and they confirm each other, we call it positive or affirmative categorical proposition. For example, we say Arif Alvi is the president of Pakistan. Arif Alvi is the subject and president of Pakistan is the predicate. Now both agree with each other and they affirm each other, so we say that it's affirmative or positive categorical proposition. And here, if both denies with each other, if subject and predicate don't agree with each other, they don't affirm each other, we say that they are negative from qualitative perspective. Imran Khan is not the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Imran Khan is the subject and Prime Minister of Pakistan is the predicate. Now they denies each other because Imran Khan is the current Prime Minister of Pakistan, so we can say that it's negative. Now a few other example from categorical proposition and how they are represented, we explained them in our previous slides, but let's again see them here. Universal affirmative is represented by A and its representation form is all S in P. All S mean all subjects are NP in predicate class. If these are two sets are two classes, S and P are two classes, P is the predicate and S is the subject, so all subjects are affirmed by P, mean they are there in the P set, then we call universal affirmative, means all layers of, if you take this example, all layers are politician, all guys are kind. If we look into the universal negative, mean no S in P, so no layer or politician. If I change this example to universal negative, it will be no layer or politician, no guy are kind. And particular affirmative means some layer or politician, some guys are kind. And particular negative, some layers are not politician, some guys are not believer. Here its representation is not all, some S are not P. This is written incorrectly. Some now these categorical proposition, they can be represented in the form of a matrix which is called AEIO matrix. So from we have from quantity perspective we studied universal and particular, and from quality perspective we studied affirmative and negative. So when it is universal affirmative, it's A, it's universal negative, it's E, particular affirmative, it's I, particular negative, it's O. And here this is the explanation of each of these all SRP, no SRP, some SRP, some SR not P. What does this mean? So you can look into these from the previous example. We already discussed them in detail. If again we explain each and every one from some other example, A statement is called universal affirmative and it is represented by all SRP. Example is all dolphin or mammals. So here how we can represent this in terms with the help of Venn diagram. All dolphins are mammal. If I take one dolphin from the dolphin family and I look this dolphin in the mammal family, it will always be there. So it means that all kinds of, this is one set and this is another set, or we can say that this is the subject and this is the predicate. So each element of this dolphin is a member or element in the mammal class. That's why it's called universal affirmative. This is the representation, that this is this D, the inside circle within this M mammal class. This is the dolphin, so all dolphin are part of this mammal. So we can represent this, this D class has some intersection part with the mammal class, and this intersection part tells us that all dolphins are the member of the are mammals. So this line shows us the empty space, that there is no dolphin which is not a member of the mammal class. So if we pictorially represent it, this is the dolphin, and this is other mammals. So we can represent it like this. These dolphin are in the intersection area, which can be considered as mammal as well, and it can be considered as a dolphin as well. And if we first take from left side, or if we take it from right side, both are the same kind of representation. Now if we look into the E statement, it's called universal negative, already we discussed, and its representation is no SRP, and its example can be no bat or bird. No bat or bird. Bird is one class, bat is another class. How we can pictorially represent it? This is bird, and this is bat, and this is bird, represented by D. Now we can see that these are disjoint sets. No, there is mentioned that E statement tell us that no SRP. Now both the circle are not going to touch each other, and if we take the intersection section, that will always be empty. Mean that this side and this side will be disjoint and nothing will be common. So this is universal negative. And if we pictorially represent it, here are birds, bird class, and here is bat class, and here is bird class. And if we look into their intersections section, no bird or no bat come into this area, and its left right representation will be the same. And if we look into the I statement, its particular affirmative and representation is some SRP, means some dinosaurs are carnivores. Not all dinosaurs, but some, a few, at least one dinosaur out of the carnivorous family is belongs to the carnivorous family. So its pictorial representation as this is dinosaur class, and this is the carnivorous class. So at least one element of this dinosaur, they are in this carnivorous family, represented by this cross. So this dinosaur, this is a dinosaur family, and this is carnivorous family. Out of these two, this one dinosaur is part of this carnivorous family. And the O statement, it is particular negative, some S are not P, and its example is some reptiles are not animals with leg. It means that there is at least one kind of reptile which does not belong to the animals, or to those animals which have leg. What is the example? This is a reptile class, and this reptile has at least one such member which is not member of this animal class. And pictorially, if we look into the these reptile and animal class, we can see that snake is a reptile, and it's also snake is a reptile, but it's not belongs to this animal family. So it's lies in this area. And this was all about the categorical proposition. The second type of proposition are called as hypothetical proposition. So hypothetical proposition is nothing but they does not directly attribute predicate to its subject. In categorical proposition, we studied that there will be predicate and there will be subject, but here in this case there will be no subject, and we will not talk about, our emphasis will not be on the predicate and subject, but the dependency of one proposition on another proposition. So will be discussed in hypothetical proposition. Let's take the example. From here to here and the bold part after then, these are two separate propositions. If the price of the farm product be raised, then the country will be prosperous. Now, if the first part, which is represented by F, if it is true, then the second part will be true. So these two preposition, they depend on each other. Depend on each other mean that for its truthness from the final for the final output, if the first part is true, then the second part will also be true. If prices of dairy product is reduced, definitely is raised, definitely it means that the country will be prosperous. And another example, if the government is fair, this is one proposition, then the rights of no one will be exploited. So all the people will get their due rights if the government is fair. So the second part depends on its truthness, on the value of the first part. So this is called hypothetical proposition, and hypothetical proposition are also divided into its three part: conditional, disjunctive, and conjunctive. So conditional proposition are those proposition in which if then condition are used, and inside the if the condition part will be used. If condition is true, the then part mean the consequent part will be also true. And its example is, if it is night, then it is dark. Now we will go and see outside. If it is not night, then there will be no dark. And so this is the example of conditional proposition. And another type of hypothetical proposition is disjunctive proposition. So in disjunctive proposition, and there will be some possibility of the alternative. In conditional proposition, we saw that if part of the proposition is true, the second will be true. There will be dependency. But here, there are some alternative possibility as well. And those alternative possibility can be introduced by using the keywords either and or. It means that both part can be either true. So again, it can be divided into two parts: strict disjunctive and broad disjunctive. In strict disjunctive, if two parts are there, only one statement will be true and the other will be false. For example, you will pass or fail. You cannot be pass or fail both at the same time. You may go up or down. What does this mean? This means you are going upward or downward. You cannot go in both the direction at the same time. So these strict disjunction will be identified by using the keyword or, which is called exclusive or, and inside all these three examples you can see that or is used. So you will be either in this first part of the or at the second part of the or. It will be true. While in case of broad disjunctive, there can be possibility of truthness for either the first part or the second part or both. For example, either he is good in mathematics or science or philosophy. Now, a person, Mr. A, is good both in maths and science, or he is good in science and philosophy. It means that more than one part of preceding and before and after the or can be true. There are possibilities. So we can say that there is broad disjunctiveness inside the proposition. And the last type of hypothetical proposition is conjunctive proposition, which means that cannot be both true at the same time, and it can be identified with the help of the keyword and or the word and will be used inside the proposition. You cannot be guilty and innocent at the same time. If you are guilty, then you cannot be innocent, and if you are innocent, you cannot be guilty. So this and is the conjunctive. It make this proposition is conjunctive, and it can be true, cannot be both true at the same time. Either you will be guilty or you will be innocent. And this is all about this lecture. You can read all this material from Introduction to Logic, written by Kupi Kohan in 2014. This is 14th edition, and some other resources you can consult for understanding and enhancing your knowledge base for this lecture. Okay, thank you.